Hello, my name is Kathleen Drake, and this is my design presentation on Dieter Rams. Dieter Rams is 88 years old and was born May 20, 1932 in Germany during the Great Depression. He gained his education from Wiesbaden School of Art and earned practical experience as an apprentice carpenter by his grandfather, who he was strongly influenced by. He later became head of Germany's Braun Corporation and retired in 1997. Due to his carpenter experience and his education, his ideology was formed and laid the guidelines for the functional design movement. This movement is driven by objects having a purpose rather than just aesthetics. His mantra of simple, functional, and unobtrusive design was taken to heart, especially by Apple, who was a lead designer, was a disciple of Rams. Rather than Rams being influenced by major artists, he was able to influence some we know today, such as Richard Hamilton of the pop art movement and Donald Judd, one of the early leaders of the minimalist movement. Through his art, he created the 10 principles for good design: innovative, product usefulness, aesthetic, understandable, unobtrusive, honest, long-lasting, thorough detail, environmentally friendly, and little design as possible. Dieter Rams has won 18 awards from 1960 to 2013. His first award he gained was when he was 28 years old, and it was an industry scholarship which helped fund his later projects and education. At 36, he won an Honorary Royal Designer for Industry in the UK for distinguished design in furniture and light engineering products. At 60, he won an IKEA prize for his designs. At 81, he won a Lifetime Achievement Medal at the London Design Festival. His legacy is continued through his disciple Jonathan Ive, who worked with Apple and helped create the design shown in the bottom photos. The top photo next to Dieter Rams is a Braun ET66 calculator, which the Apple calculator was based on. Rams wanted the design to be approachable with an interface that is not too overwhelming, in which he was able to create one of the most minimalistic of all calculators. The top middle photo is a Braun T1000 radio designed by Rams in the 1950s. Its design has a smooth, uniform exterior, and its design is said to look intelligent, simple, and with purpose. Not only did it look good, but it was also extremely functional. This radio is capable of scanning all available broadcasting frequencies. Like most of his products, it fueled the economy after World War II. The pocket radio on the top far right was designed by Rams in 1958. It was designed to be portable with only one color to allow the red markings for the dial to be shown. The black and red markings helped determine the radio frequencies. The radio was also divided into two parts, one with the dial and the other with a speaker with the hole covering. The principal design was also prominent in his work. The calculator showed unity and harmony with the buttons being circular and evenly spread. The calculator also showed scale and proportion by having two of the buttons being smaller than the rest, even though they contribute the most by turning it on and off. Dominance and emphasis was also prominent, as he used colors such as red and yellow to bring out the most important features such as on and the equal sign. The pocket radio also shows principles of design. Unity and harmony was seen with the speaker's hole covering. Each of the holes are the same distance as each other and show continuation, repetition, and rhythm. Balance was also used because the device is cut vertically, the sides nearly match, and when cut horizontally, the weight of the dial matches the weight of the speaker. Scale and proportion is shown through the two main focal points being the dial and the center of the speaker. Dominance and emphasis can be seen with the circle shape being used. The largest circle, the dial, is the most important compared to the smaller circles of the speaker. Elements of art that were used were color, shape, and texture. Each of his designs show a neutral color that is generally a combination of gray, white, and black. In general, the main shapes he chooses are rectangles and circles that make his designs more simple. Texture is also an element that plays in his work, as many of them are smooth and consist of divots or protrusions from the buttons and holes. I chose Dieter Rams because of his principle of design, to make it simple, eco-friendly, aesthetic without trend, and honest. His style is seen in Apple products, which is also considered a very strong company. I also have a preference towards simpler designs, where less is more. Here's my final design for the project. I used an easy application called Blender, and it's free to use. With it, I was able to create a 3D image of a chair that I was inspired by Ram's simplistic ideology. By sticking to his ideology, I used the 10 principles for good design. No gimmicks, just a chair sticking to the honesty. The most simple design that accentuates its purpose by having a heavier bottom and a curved inside to sit comfortably. Aesthetically pleasing soft corners and smooth design. It can be placed anywhere and be used for anything, making it unobtrusive. The principles of design that I used were scale and proportion, having the base larger and visually heavier than the backrest, balance as it has symmetry when cut down the middle, and emphasis on the base of the seat. Elements of art that I used were shape, color, and texture. For the shape, I used three-dimensional and focused on the rounded rectangles and squares. The color I used was gray to show neutrality. I wanted it to be something that had no preference in order to follow Ram's style. And smooth so that way it could look soft or hard to go along with the neutrality factor. And finally, here are my resources. Thank you for your time.